Story 1. Hard work isn't what is rewarded. Profitable work is. If the job is to dig a trench and fill it with gravel, I could spend 2 days doing it with a shovel, or I could spend 2 hours doing it with a backhoe. The person who chooses the backhoe isn't lazy because he is sitting and letting the machine do all the work. You are not rewarded by how hard you try to do something. You only get credit for what gets done. Story 2. Once life starts throwing curveballs and speeding up, it never stops. I will probably hit retirement, looking forward to settling down and having less responsibility. Then one of my kids will need to move back in with my grandkid. Story 3. You cannot control everything. There will always be people better than you, smarter than you, or who have better opportunities than you. One thing you can control, however, is showing up. Show up day after day. Do what needs to be done. Skip the overpriced gas station snack and put that $4.65 in your savings account. Wash and repeat. You may not become the next Jeff Bezos, but for 99% of people, consistent good habits will get them a lot further than 1 or 2 lucky breaks ever could. Story 4. You cannot do it on your own. Humans are inherently social, and at some point you will need something from someone. There is no need to be the devil's advocate. The devil is fine on his own. Speak your own truth. Being brutally honest is only a virtue if someone has a reason to respect your opinion. Otherwise, you are just unpleasant. Never look down on someone for where they are, only for what they do. Life is challenging and unfair, and you should not assume you know how someone ended up where they are. Story 5. Learning to live after the death of my son. Knowing that I was able to show him love while he was here. Biggest regret. Being tired from work and not giving him the attention that he deserved. I would cut my own hand off for 5 more minutes with him. Story 6. Nobody is born interesting. You have to cultivate and grow a personality. Read books, watch interesting videos instead of just memes. Involve yourself in politics, hobbies, and the spirit of the times. Go on hikes. Study theology and decide what you really believe, not what you have been told to believe. Having more experiences means you have more to share, more to talk about, and new things to enlighten the lives of others. Whether it be new information, wisdom, or a piece of personal artwork, whoever receives it will appreciate it. Story 7. While there will always be luck involved, consistently delivering good, honest, hard work will get you farther than banking on a lucky opportunity. The phrase, "your net worth is your network," has shown to be true time and time again. Story 8. For me, it was truly admitting to myself and realizing there are definitely some people out there who will go out of their way to make your life difficult deliberately. Not rarely for messed up reasons, such as petty jealousy or just being glad to see other people miserable. For some reason, it took me way too long to get this through my thick skull that some people just aren't worth the time dealing with. I usually try my best to see the good in everybody, but looking at where it got me, I don't think I should be that naive anymore. I was also a kind of people pleaser and used to be unable to differentiate people with such traits, ending up in lots of drama for trying to get along with the wrong people. Understanding the fact that some people just don't have good intentions has saved me a lot of trouble. Story 9. Karma isn't real. People have bad things happen to them when they didn't deserve it. People have good things fall into their laps without doing much. It's no use questioning this inconsistency in life or complaining about the unfairness. It is probably one of the first lessons one could learn about the adult world, or even as teens. Story 10. One time at 25, I was explaining my life situation to a girl while on a date. After hearing about my living and employment, she said, "So you're still living the student life?" I had been out of school for 3 years at this time, but it opened my eyes to how I wasn't moving forward. My jobs weren't careers, and my excuses for living at home were weak. It really made me get my act together. Story 11. That my emotional well-being is completely under my control. Nobody makes me anything mad or sad. I choose those things. Once I was able to stop being victimized by my own dysfunctional thought process, I was free. Story 12. Nobody owes you anything, and you are entitled to nothing you didn't earn. You earn people's respect, you earn their affection, you earn the money to sustain a lifestyle you can enjoy, and you earn your promotions and career advancements through hard work or skillful networking. A lot of the chains that bind you from feeling like you aren't doing anything with your life are forged, link, by your fear of failure and social rejection. You can either choose to stop caring so much about what other people think of you and your decisions, or you can continue to live a restrained life, allowing regret and feelings of inadequacy to poison you over time until it spills over in unintended ways. Learned this the hard way after getting criticized by my mother for it when I was a small child. Do not ever make fun of someone's accent or think they're foolish or objects of ridicule. There are people out there who barely manage to master the one language they were born and raised speaking, and this person standing in front of you can do that and attempt to speak another language to communicate with you, which requires a degree of intelligence you currently don't possess. Think about how hard that is before you decide to make fun of their broken English, French, or other languages. Recognize that you have a lot to learn from other people, and those can be two types of lessons: how to do things right or how not to do things. You don't ever know nearly as much as you think you do, and the moment you think you know everything, you know nothing. Story 13. You have to make mistakes in life in order to grow as a person. And also, live your life young when you are young. Do not try to recapture your youth when you are an old man clinging to better times only to make a fool of yourself. Story 14. The only thing all human beings are entitled to is pain and suffering. There's enough of that for everyone. It doesn't matter how much your parents try to shield you, you will eventually be in great pain and suffering at some stage in your life. What you must continually work on is how to accept this entitlement gracefully and gratefully. Story 15. Nothing out there will make you happy or fulfilled. Stop expecting things people, fate, God, work, life, family, love, money, and time to solve your happiness problems. That only comes from the inside. It is unique to you, and most importantly, you cannot find it for anyone but yourself, so be patient with those who are still searching. Story 16. A lot of times things fail because of me, but also a lot of things fail that have nothing to do with me. It forced me to own up to my actions and work on my faults, almost to a fault, and it took me a while to realize I have still got to be somewhat happy with myself and confident in who I am. Story 17. Nobody cares about you unless you have something to offer them. And when you do have something to give, they still don't care about you once you're gone. Do your own work. Story 18. Some people won't like you. Whether that be how you look, how you carry yourself, or how you speak. It's not important. Work on being likable, but don't get hung up on those who don't. Story 19. That the hardest thing about loving someone can be that sometimes you need to stop constantly acting like it and give them the space they need, even when all you want is to be there for them. Story 20. When I was in a really bad depressive state, I noticed my close friends started to talk to me less and less. Finally, one of them told me the honest truth. I was so negative that it rubbed off on them and made me a hard person to deal with and talk to. That was the day I decided I was going to get better. Story 21. You will struggle at everything when you first start it. Like embarrassingly struggle. But don't let that deter you. With practice, you can get pretty damn good. Story 22. Failing is a learning experience. If you give honest effort but fail more often, you are learning a lot. Learn to enjoy failing. Get good at it. One day that will pay off. Story 23. It is on you to be happy. Just because she is attractive does not mean she is nice. Solve your own problems. No one likes to hear you complain. If they do, do not talk to them. It is not about you, ever. No one secretly dislikes you. They do not think about you at all. Being kind is far more important than being right. It is better to have someone think you are an idiot than to open your mouth and prove it. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is at the top of your lungs. Story 24. I do not have and will probably never have a big penis. I have come to terms with it, and there is nothing I can do about it. I embrace it now and have found if you do not care, no one else does either. Sure, I will never have that big bulge women love talking about, but it does not change who I am. If penis size was based on personality, I would like to think I have a foot long, and that is all the confidence I need. Story 25. Whether it is or isn't your fault, it's still your problem. Led me to make a bunch of changes to better myself. Things I had to face, things I had to change, and people I had to remove from my life. All my problems, even though they weren't all my fault. The fact is, nobody is out there looking to help or fix things for you. Pick yourself up and face the music, and your life will change. Self-reliance is the greatest skill you can have. Story 26. My decisions have consequences. If I make a bad decision, the consequences are real and self-induced. If I make a good decision, the consequences are equally real and self-induced. Story 27. Finally realizing that most of the religious beliefs I had held were nonsense. I have walked away from 2 religions over the years, first Catholicism and then Christianity in general. I was pretty devout and bought into the whole believe or go to hell bit, so it's some of the scariest stuff I've done. I've lain awake at night during a hard time, wanting to reach out in prayer only to remember, you don't believe that anymore. Are you going to run back to it now? Then understanding that I can't tell others what to believe about religion or politics, they're going to cling to their beliefs as strongly as I clung to mine. Ironically, it was the book Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, who I believe is an atheist, that helped me make peace with the role of religion again, even if I don't believe anymore. Story 28. I read No More Mr. Nice Guy and realized I was a nice guy. Spoiler alert. This is not a good thing. This allowed me to make changes that have made me happier and improved my relationships. Story 29. 1. You are alone. As a man, if you encounter a difficult situation, you are on your own. Nobody cares, literally. You are expendable. It is expected of you to go to any lengths, to make any sacrifices just to spare others a moment of discomfort. The social game is rigged. You will lose most of the time. Story 30. Most people are more concerned with being right over being effective. Many mass graves harbor the bodies of those who had the moral high ground. This world is about results. Choose to be effective. Story 31. No one cares about you. No one wants to listen to your stories. People expect you to listen to them and follow their plan. They care about your existence only when they need you. Your problems will only be heard if and when they concern the other person. Otherwise, it's just a problem for them. A good person is always left in a bad situation. Your silence won't bother them, but your silence directed at them will disturb them. Story 32. It is a natural human tendency to judge ourselves by our intentions. It was a big step in my development as a man when I realized that regardless of what they may say, every other person on the planet is judging me by the outcomes. Story 33. There is a wall of fear, uncertainty, doubt, and discomfort. On the other side of that wall is everything you want in life. The price of getting what you want is to find a way over, under, around, or through that wall. Put another way, success happens outside of your comfort zone. So does failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to success. Stagnation is staying inside your comfort zone. Successful people get nervous like everyone else, but they are comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Some people will spend years of their life in familiar misery rather than risk one day on trying something new, different, and scary that could change their life for the better. For example, working hard and being invisible for years, whereas volunteering to give a presentation to upper management could change their career in one meeting. Story 34. Romantic love, soulmates, destiny, and the idea of finding the one is a load of old hokum. You are not meant to be with a particular someone. You can literally fall in love with anyone. See also, everything happens for a reason. These are just stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the chaos. Understanding this is incredibly liberating and allows calm acceptance of change and a positive embrace of the wonderful impermanence of all things. Story 35. There is no such thing as the one. Also, a comment for men who are afraid to tell the person they are attracted to about their feelings. Rejection is better than regret. Story 36. That just because they are family doesn't mean you have to have them in your life. Sometimes the most destructive people are the ones we are related to, and the blood is thicker than water nonsense is just that, nonsense. Sometimes you need to cut people out, despite their relationship to you. Story 37. Having burned almost every bridge, losing your job, and realizing your friends aren't really worth it, you crawl back to the nearest family member and start over. Been there. Now I'm on top again. This time with new rules and higher expectations for myself. Gotta live under the assumption that no one cares about me. I am my own agent. I am my own best friend. I am my own teacher. I am my own boss. No one will care about you as much as you should care about yourself. Story 38. Everything out of a woman's mouth is a test. If you pass the test, they will respect you. If you fail the test, they will mother you, resent you, and leave you. Story 39. No one cares about your feelings. It is your job as a man to patiently work out your problems alone. Blaming your parents for your problems is what losers do. Of course, your parents are flawed. Everyone's are. You are lucky to have parents at all. This is not a movie, and you are not the main character. You will often work hard and not accomplish the goal. You will often love people who will never love you back. You may die early and alone, and that is all right. At least you got to live.